Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the NorCal Sports Network. This is Dan Cochimilio along with Eric Romo. And the Giants lose a tough one today, but a valiant effort, as the headline says. Giants lose 7-5, but make it a game with 4 runs in the 7th on a couple of back-to-back base hits by Conforto and Haniger, and then a 3-run blast by Blake Sable on an 0-2 pitch. A mistake, a curveball was hung, and he didn't miss it. Giants then bring the tying run to the plate and Wilmer Flores in the top of the 9th, but a little too late, as they say. But overall, a very successful road trip, winning 5 of 7, which is at the beginning of this road trip. I kind of thought they'd go 2-5 or 3-4 at best. Right. So kudos to the Giants, who came out and kept their hot streak from their recent homestand, kept it going, and they are now in a wild card position. And, you got to hand it to them, Eric. 27-26. I thought they'd come home. I think I predicted 24-29. So, hey, I was wrong.
Yeah, best road trip of the season so far. So
yeah, happy to be wrong. So, yeah, let's cover it. What your thoughts?
I don't know. Cobb did everything but be good. I mean, he balked, he hit pitchers, gave up home runs. I mean, I don't know what was going on with him today, but and Sable wasn't that great behind the plate those first 2 innings as well.
Yeah, and I missed the first couple innings. Didn't see what happened.
I was listening to you on the radio, and I was keeping an appraised of it on game
day. What was the deal with Sable? Was it pass ball?
He was just dropping a lot of balls. I don't know if that was hurting Cobb getting something pitches. I'm not sure.
I think it does frustrate pitchers when the catcher when they're not in sync, and it can frustrate the pitcher at times. So, we'll see. Mario says they were 5-2 on this road trip. It's a playoff team.
One road trip is not a playoff team. If they do this over the next few road trips and have a set a baseline of what they could do on the road, then okay, I can agree with that. But this is their first good road trip they've had since the season started.
Yeah, so. I was thinking about that today. I was thinking, even in the 70s when I watched the Giants when they were awful, there was times when awful teams would put together, 8 of 10, 11 of 14 type streaks, even under 500 teams have really good streaks. So, all appearances, it looks like this team is starting to play better. And, Haniger and Conforto are starting to put together seasons, what they were signed for. I wouldn't, you just put that one up. What winning on the road versus first place teams and aces makes you a playoff team, Romo.
Yeah, but this is early in the season still. I'm not saying that you're not wrong. I'm just saying it's a little bit early to say that. I want them just to see them do that more often, while they're on the road. Because the last few times they were on the road, it wasn't pretty.
Yeah, so we'll see if they carry it through. They got, be a tough 6-game homestand. Pittsburgh's not easy. And Baltimore's, one of the better teams in baseball. So I do think that,
one thing, real quick with what Mario said, doesn't the lineup look so much different when Bailey and Schmidt aren't in there?
Yeah. Why? I mean, you look at it, they lost.
Had a double, which was nice, but I'm just saying.
Yeah. No, hey, they haven't won very many games recently with Sable behind the dish.
Right.
And when Crawford's been in there, they haven't done as well either. So, we'll see. I mean, they're starting to play better, playing on, they've got some good veterans that if they can put things together, it could very well be a playoff team. But it also, they got to stay healthy. Mario, I said this from the beginning. They can make the playoffs if everything goes right. And all those factors have to be in consideration. They have to stay healthy. They have to produce to their better years, which they did not in April and early May. They have come along here. Conforto and Haniger of late starting to show production, but Crawford hasn't been producing. And then you also have to factor in injuries. And then the other thing you have to factor in, I said this, is that one of the potential playoff teams, whether it be Philadelphia or the Mets or St. Louis, somebody's going to have, or San Diego, these teams going to have maybe a down year and not meet their expectations. Because on paper, when you look at the season, the beginning, I'll still say this, that San Diego is going to be a tough team to beat. You cannot say that San Diego, even though they're playing bad, is going to remain there.
Right. Same thing with St. Louis.
St. Louis, the Mets, and the Phillies. So they may make the playoffs, they may not, but they're going to battle. It's going to come down to one of those type of teams, whether they're battling a wild card, whether it be St. Louis or Milwaukee or the Mets or Philadelphia. Now you got San Diego. And now the other thing you got to throw in there is the Diamondbacks. The Diamondbacks are playing, better than anticipated. Mm-hmm. I thought they would still be a team that would fight for the a wild card spot, but and they're showing that. Now Padres won't make the playoffs; they don't have the pitching. Now you guys, both you guys that say this, the Giants also didn't have a lot until they, a hope until they brought up Schmidt and Bailey, and then they started, clicking. Padres aren't going to sit on what they have right now. Okay, they're going to go out. If they don't have the pitching, they'll go out and make a deal. They're not going to just go, oh, well, we'll just spend all these millions of dollars on these star players and we'll just ride it with our crappy pitching. No, they're going to go make some deals, and they're in a win now. They're in a win now. They have to win. They're built to win, and if they don't win, it's an epic failure because of their payroll. So I believe they're going to come out and do some stuff. I was watching the Sacramento River Cats against OKC.
Yeah, I put that in the banner down there of what Harrison did.
Yeah, he went 3 2/3, right? 5 Ks, 3 base on balls, 74 pitches. They took him out at 74 because they worked him up. He was
That's a lot of pitches for 3 2/3, though.
He throws a lot of pitches. He goes deep in counts. He walks guys. He's going to have to get that corrected. You cannot go 75 pitches and only get 3 2/3 in the major leagues.
Right.
You're going to have to get they're going to try and work him up, I imagine, to about 85 pitches before they bring him up. And I don't think they're going to have him go too much more than 85 pitches until maybe later in the season. If they feel like, but that 85 pitches, the efficiency, they're going to have to get a minimum of 5 innings out of Harrison with those 85 pitches.
Right. You
minimum.
Get at least. Yeah.
I mean, the rule of thumb is 15 pitches per inning, which at 15 pitches in 5 innings is 75. So you might be able to get 86 or 6 innings out of an 85 pitch game. But I don't think they're going to, overwork Harrison. Yes, that is true. Minor league uses Roboumps. He'll do better. They don't give you the high strike zone.
And good point. Yeah, that is a good point.
Yeah, they don't do all that. So that's been a little bit of a difficulty. Yeah, as you see in these games against Milwaukee, the home plate zone is so inconsistent with these umpires. And I imagine we're only a a year or two away from robo
That's
umps
what I was
in
going to ask
the
you.
major leagues,
Yeah.
which I wonder if that will change.
That's gonna.
I didn't pay
Yeah,
attention. In fact, I should look. I'll turn this back on and look and see if these catchers are going down on one knee to try and frame pitches in the minor leagues. Because to me, if you have a robo ump that calls every ball and strike and you can't fool the robo ump,
right.
there's no need
To
to
frame.
do
Yeah.
to do the, go down on one knee, especially with runners on base or men on third, because it does leave you more susceptible
So
to a
all the
pass
catchers
ball.
do, all they have to do then now, they can't even call a game now with the pitching clock. So all they're doing, they're just squatting, catching, and then trying to throw runners out, and that's going to be it.
Well, if they're not framing, if they're taking that
Yeah,
away, let me see.
exactly. That's
I'm watching this here, the catchers. Okay, they're still going down on one knee though. So I think it might be a challenge situation. Is it the ump calls it and they can
Supposedly, I've heard
challenge
it
it?
on the radio. Like he gets a buzz in his ear or something to let him know whether
Is
it's
that
a
what it
strike or
is?
a ball. Yeah, something like that.
Oh, you got to be kidding. Gosh. I don't
Yeah.
like Romo umps either. I mean, you might as well. I don't want. Yeah, I don't want a robo ump. It's a human game, you know.
You factor in the human error with it.
Yeah.
But, I get it. People want to get the calls right. I understand that. But, yeah, it's like, I don't know.
I mean, what are you going to lead to?
I'm kind of on the fence on that one, yeah.
Pretty soon you have robo pitchers. Okay. Artificial intelligence games. Come on. So River Cats are up 2-0. Matos got a double earlier, and then he scored the first run for the River Cats. He looks like he's on first base again. Is that him? Let me look. Let me look at the. See, I'm watching it right here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
So let me just check the box score here and see what if I can get the.
Yeah, I had it up for a bit, but I was just wanted to see what Harrison did.
Matos
walked. That's what he's doing. He's hitting and walking.
Okay, 1 for 2. Yeah, base on ball. I did see the kid Welker's in the line. He's hitting. No, he's down to 281. So yeah,
that's why I'm excited about Matos. That's the one thing that he'll be able to give you.
Yeah, Matos has got speed. Yeah,
and a range.
And range. Yeah. So yeah, so I think this. I think this Giants road trip though was very, very successful. I mean, today down 7-1 to make it a game and have the tying run at the plate in the 9th inning is pretty good. I mean, we saw the Brewers, they went down 7-1 or whatever it was, and they just it got worse and worse in that 15-1 game. What was that? The first game, Thursday night, they won 15-1, maybe something like that?
No, that was the second game.
Okay. Second game, yeah. So, yeah, I think it's Will Wilson did hit a home run, yeah. Let me see.
It's weird. The last 2 games of each series were kind of stinkers for the Giants. That last game in Minnesota was Bad News Bears.
Right.
And then today, Cobb just he was all out of sorts. I don't know what was going on with him.
They were down. Yeah, I had a feeling they might lose today just because of
maybe he ate a bad sausage or something. I don't know.
It's tough to sweep a team 4 straight, especially on the road. But
real quick, who's pitching tomorrow? Is it DeSclafani or is it a bullpen game
tomorrow? Let's take a look. Too many apps on this dang phone. Okay. Tomorrow, Monday, 2:00 game, by the way, 2:05. It is DeSclafani against Rich Hill. So, You know what? Slater's not in the lineup today. Interesting.
I wonder if he's on a taxi squad.
Well, he wouldn't have gone all the way back to Milwaukee.
Unless they just move.
They're probably resting him. They probably don't want to push it.
Yeah,
because he's not going to play every day again with the Giants. So we'll see how things turn out. Anyway, Yeah, hit that like and subscribe button, everybody, if you would. We're not going to go too long today. I mean, it's a Sunday afternoon. It's holiday weekend. I just wanted to come on, discuss a little bit about the Giants, see where things are going. Tomorrow, they got the 2:00, 2:05 start. And then what I'm looking forward to tomorrow is that game to see how they bounce back at home, see how the crowd is on a holiday. And then, the 5:30 tomorrow night, Game 7, Boston, Miami. What a series that's been.
Yeah, that's going to be. Yeah.
That's unbelievable. 3-0 Miami. Then Boston comes back. 3-0 will be the first team in history to come back from 3-0 if out of 151 tries. But we'll see what happens on that. I mean, Eric Spoelstra last night after the game in the press conference, he was like, we want to play this game right now. We're ready to go. He was pretty hot. He's like, but we'll have to wait, 48 hours, but we're ready to go. So it will be interesting to see if the great Eric Spoelstra, we'll see what coaching can do, because I think he's one of the top coaches in the NBA. Again, last night, I mentioned it when we came on last night. I think he erred in not guarding the inbounds passer and I would have put a tall guy on him and made the throw difficult, and then I would have guarded him. I know what he was trying to do. He was trying to keep Jason Tatum from getting the winning shot, but I mean, sometimes you got to go with you let that inbounds guy go. He beats you. He's the guy that beats you more times than not. I've seen it over and over. But that's tomorrow night. So Giants will come home at 27-26. They are in third place securely. The Dodgers lost today to the Tampa Bay Devil Rays.
Hit his 17th home run of the season today.
Muncy did?
Yeah.
But I heard he got a little bit hurt. My buddy told me that he had some hamstring issues or something after that.
Uh-oh.
So their pitching is really in a mess. Listen to this. This is a text earlier today from my buddy who's the big Dodger fan. He said, wow, L.A. Trace Thompson and Chris Taylor win a combined 6 for 6, scored 4 runs, 3 RBIs with the Dodgers pitching.
Wow.
Rookie Gavin Stone, 2 innings pitched, 10 hits, 7 runs. Bickford and B. Gonzalez surrendered 11 runs. Oh, all these guys to combine surrendered 11 runs to Tampa and lost 11-10. And suddenly, resurgent Max Muncy home run and a double yesterday, home run today, left game in third inning with hamstring issue.
Oh, brother.
Interesting. Dodgers have some significant pitching issues. Injuries to May. Dustin May out at least 2 months. Urias may be back this week from IL, but not pitching like an ace. Ryan Pipito on IL all season, will return to be determined. Walker Buehler out till next year. Michael Grove may be back from IL next week to 10 days. Syndergaard, big offseason acquisition as 5th starting pitcher, has pitched poorly all season. And now number 2 pitching prospect. Gavin Stone has been lit up in all 3 of his starts. Obviously a regression from his impressive ascension up the minor league ladder. Dodgers may need to make a trade or dip into AA Tulsa to find pitching help. So that's my buddy's review of the Dodgers, which I think the Dodgers are somewhat vulnerable right now.
Yeah, now they are. Yeah.
And they're not the team they were, the juggernaut they were last year. David VR, I see Darren Ty says they brought him up and he still looks bad. I did not see, because I was out this morning and I didn't get a chance to see any of VR's
hit for him in the 9th with Schmidt.
Yeah, so the time he must have been coming up was, due up. I didn't see him, but looking at the box score, VR was 0 for 3. Well, he didn't strike out, but he's hitting a paltry 143. it'll be interesting to see what they do tomorrow. Are they back with the kids and Crawford's back on the bench? JD Davis took the day off at third. They put VR there. So I would imagine tomorrow it's no, they're facing a lefty though. They're facing Rich Hill.
Crawford ain't going to be in there, not with that big hook that Rich Hill has.
Oh, yeah. So it's probably going to be VR at second base. Yeah, you probably. Watch. VR will be at second.
Schmidt at short.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And JD Davis. And they'll have Conforto, Haniger, and
bringing in Flores for Wisely there at the end of the game. I kind of saw a strikeout coming. I mean, Devin Williams is nasty.
Yeah, he's got that wicked changeup though, and that changeup will mess with a lefty with not much experience. So, although Wisely, man, he almost got a hold of one today after Sable had homered, made it 7-5 or 7-4. Crawford was on third base after he doubled and then got to third. It looked like Wisely got a hold of it, and he just missed it. It went all the way to the wall. The guy made a nice leaping catch.
That's why.
Flores.
I was wondering. He had to have some kind of success for him to pinch hit. But,
and Flores is the type of hitter, like he's somewhat like Estrada that can, free swinger at times. He can knock it out.
Get a hold of one. Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, Adam, can you say Schmidt's nursing an ankle? Have you heard anything about that? Where'd you hear about that, Adam?
Yeah, he does look too big at second base. Yeah, VR. He looks like a fullback out there. He's not your typical second baseman because he's not a second baseman.
No. Did you see that with Schmidt though, where Schmidt's nursing an ankle?
I didn't hear that. I saw the comment. I don't know. Didn't hear anything about it.
He said he heard it during the game today. He says he's going to look it up.
Slusser says he's fine. Is what?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. See, it was just a rolled ankle. Should be good to go tomorrow. We'll see how things go. Yeah. I mean, the key is, we've been saying it since the beginning, the key is going to be, as far as organization moving in the right direction, it's going to be the kids. It's going to be, does the minor league system produce? Right. Because yes, it moves in the right direction if Matos makes it, Brown makes it, Luciano makes it, Meckler, a couple of other guys, the pitching, whether it be Wisenhunt and Harrison and Bednar and Crawford, all these guys, not all of them have to hit, but a handful do. A handful need to hit, because if these guys have regressed like they did last year, right now they're, things are looking good. But if for some reason they regress and they're not ready to contribute next year, then you got to, go out and do this stuff again, because Conforto's going to be gone.
Yeah.
Conforto's going to have, looks like a decent year. He's going to opt out. Minaya and Stripling, if they don't get things together and have successful years, they'll opt in, back in. And now you've got them on the hook. And it's like they're a year older. If they do turn it around and have very good years, they're going to be gone. So, with these opt-outs, that's why you got to produce. The farm has to produce. Right. Because if the farm doesn't produce, you're playing this mix and match game every year.
If you think about it, if Farhan keeps doing these opt-outs, that tells me then he's putting trust into the farm to produce. And if it doesn't, then he's miscalculating. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens, especially with what Darren says, around this time, around the record, come trade deadline, then what? Do you say, it's going to be a tough decision. You got to almost keep in mind, if Conforto keeps it up, you have to keep in your mind that guy's going to opt out. So that's kind of where you have to base your decision, at least on Conforto at the trade deadline. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens when it comes to where the decision making of what they do when they get to that time with the trade deadline.
Well, Darren says, yeah, do they their record come trade deadline, what then do they sell? Well, say are they around this? It really depends, Darren, where they are in the standings. I mean, they could be a 500 team and still be a wild card team because there's a lot of what's the word I want to use?
It's a down year for a lot of teams.
Yeah, the word when the NFL, I'm just drawing a blank. When everybody's kind of lumped together, what do they call that? Parity. There we go. There's a lot of parity. It looks like when you look at the standings right now.
Yeah.
And so if they're a 500 team, but they're a game up and they're in the wild card hunt, then you consider yourself a contender and you make moves. Hey, I'm not so worried about record a lot. It's more where you at in terms of standings. I remember the Giants in 1987. They had not won a division since 71. At one point, they were 53-55, and they were like 5 games behind Cincinnati. This is when it was just the National League West with 6 teams when Atlanta and Cincinnati were in the West. Okay. You had, you didn't have the Rockies and you didn't have, who was the other expansion team?
Arizona.
Yeah. You didn't have them in the league. So, the 6 teams were the Dodgers, Giants, Cincinnati, San Diego, Houston,
Cincinnati.
and wait, did I name Cincinnati? Okay.
No, you didn't. You did before.
Yeah. LA, Cincinnati, Giants, Padres, Houston. There was one other team, I thought.
I don't know if there was another one.
Atlanta.
That's right.
Okay. So the Braves. So that was your 6-team National League West. And then you had the National League East. I think back then it was, it was Montreal who's Washington today, but it was the Phillies, the Pirates, the Mets, the Cardinals,
Pittsburgh,
and Montreal.
Mm-hmm.
So that was your 12 teams National League. Anyway, Giants were 53-55. They were 5 games behind Cincinnati. They swept them in a 4-game series, and all of a sudden they were 1 out, and they went on to win the division. They won 90 or 91 games. Okay, they ended up really winning like almost 40 out of their last 55 games. I'm going to look up what that 91. I remembered it really well but the Giants should have went to the World Series that year. They were up 3-2 against St. Louis in the NLCS, and they ended up losing the last 2 in St. Louis. But I've seen, Atlanta, I mentioned the other day, they were 55-55 in 2021 and went on to win, the World Series that year.
Where were the Giants at the trade deadline when we said that they should be trading Rodon and possibly Jock? They were
I think they were about 4 out last year, something like that. And then they were on a horrible losing streak after the second half. And it was like they were playing the Dodgers during the trade deadline, and Dixon Machado was your shortstop. And it was like, they're going to get swept here. And they did. They lost a 4-game series. Okay. So here we go. 1987, the Giants finished 90-72. Yeah. Beat Cincinnati by 6. Houston, LA was 4th. Wow. Atlanta, then San Diego. I love the old division baseball. To me, I loved it when it was just National League versus American League.
Right.
Umpires different colors.
Yeah.
You know.
You had your National League and American League umpires.
Yeah. National League wore the big,
the big chest protector.
Yeah, and then the American League had the inside the. It was just they were so different. Everything was run so different. I don't know. I thought it was just cool.
I agree with you. They should have sold Rodan. That's my fear of the trade deadline this year. We got to just not necessarily the record so much, but let's see how they're playing up to that point. If it looks like they're putting on some good runs, or if they just look, they don't kind of pass the eye test, I guess. But yeah, I don't want to make that mistake again, especially when you know that some of these players are going to walk. Specifically Conforto. That's the one that he's probably going to get your biggest return, if they were to trade him. But I mean, if the Giants are doing well, I mean, I'm good if they want to keep him to the end of the season. You just got to know he's going to walk at the end of the year. But if they can make a nice run with him,
what's he talking about? Greg Dayton. What's he saying? Is he talking to us?
I have no idea.
I don't know. I haven't been reading all the chat. Who's he talking to? What are you saying, Greg, about see the score? What are we talking about here? I have no clue what he's talking about. Are you two in a effing coma? Did you effing see the score?
I don't know.
I have no clue.
Passionate. He seems passionate.
Adam says no one knows. Yeah, I don't know. What's up, Greg? Talk to us. What?
It's us. It was 7-5. I mean, that's not exactly a blowout,
What was he saying? Was he talking to you about something about?
That came out of nowhere. I have no idea. I'm looking up, and I don't see anything else that he said for a while.
I don't know.
He said, "Oh yeah, back at 2:26. Why are you assholes so happy about this after this Blinn game?"
Hey, Greg, go take your doggy downer, man. You're high on uppers, dude. Get a life, buddy. Get a life. You're not going to win 162. What are you supposed to come on here and just blast them after they won the first three on the roads against Milwaukee, first place team? Come on, Greg. What kind of fan are you?
I mean, we're objective, but we're not freaking. I think Mario would probably disagree, but we're not always pessimistic.
Yeah, I mean, we just tell it like it is. I'm not going to sit here and tell you. I mean,
if they're doing,
I was no different than any of the sports writers who 2 weeks ago said the Giants look lost. They don't look like an organization in the right direction. Everything's falling apart. The fans aren't showing up. I
don't know, Adam. I'm just taking into consideration you got Scott Boras as an agent. He's going to go wherever team is going to pay the most. And the Giants, reasonable contract is not going to exceed what some other team is going to pay. And he's going to go wherever he gets the biggest paycheck. Roboumps said that last year. Remember? Hey, I love San Francisco. I'd love to stay here type of attitude, but it's about the money.
Okay. Let's see. I'm still completely torn. I never want to see the Giants lose, but I still like Gabe.
Wait, real quick.
Oh, somebody said take a nap. Jose
said after this loss.
Yeah, Greg said take a nap, and then he said I wanted to take a nap after this loss.
They went 3-1. Yeah,
well, this is a guy who lives and dies day to day, probably. You're going to be a basket case. You're going to need Prozac if you live. Let your emotions control you on a 162 game schedule.
Especially with this team. Because you're gonna have a lot of ups and downs with this team.
Darren Ty, I like what you're saying. Still completely torn. I never want to see the Giants lose, but I still don't like Gabe or Farhan. I'm with you. I'm not a big fan of.
There's a lot of fans that feel that way.
I want them to win, but I'm going to pull for the Giants, but I still not crazy about the way the organization has handled itself. But maybe, Farhan, this is a chance to redeem himself with these guys that he drafted. Now, Matos and Luciano aren't his draft picks, but
Right.
so the only ones that he's really produced so far is Schmidt and Bailey. And I'll say this, it's still early. These guys are playing great, and I think Schmidt's going to have a solid career. And I'll say Bailey will have a solid career in the majors as a catcher. I don't know how he'll hit. I do think Schmidt will be an all-star type player. I think Bailey's going to be a guy that is going to be a really, really good catcher. Does he bat? And we'll see. But it's early. These guys are going to go through ups and downs like all baseball players do. So it's not easy when you saw what Devin Williams came up and did.
Exactly.
And,
that guy's filthy.
He made, who was it that he made look foolish?
Might have been J.D. Davis.
J.D. Davis. Yeah. That stuff's, you're going to face pitchers like that. And, these guys will learn and grow. But, hey, anybody who thinks that guys should get a hit all the time, if you hit 300, that means you failed 70% of the time. But if you hit 300 for your career, you're likely to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Failing 70% of the time.
Yep.
So, I mean,
I agree with Pete. The bullpen was, not just today, the bullpen has really solidified. That's good to see because
Manaya's this kid Beck looked good today.
Yeah, he did well. He did well.
Yeah, I think he was in the deal for Mark Melancon. I think that was the trade that Farhan made when they traded Melancon in 19 to Atlanta. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, somebody check me on that. Somebody check me on it.
Someone else
said
from
Stanford.
What was he said something about the guy Walker? Yeah, Walker did well. The new kid that they just brought up.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he looks good. He had a really low ERA at Sacramento, which is a tough league to pitch in. So we'll see. I mean, oh, come on, Greg, what are we saying? We can't start digging a hole again if they're 5 or 6 under in the next few.
Okay. Yeah. I mean that I agree. You can't
start. You can't take one loss of a 4-game series. They won 3 and act like they should have won all 4. I mean, the fact that they even won 3 of 4 is impressive. So to start saying they can't, I mean, yeah, they don't want to go 5 or 6 under, but they seem to have righted the ship where they've kind of figured out some things, what is, kind of where guys belong. Haniger's hitting, Conforto's hitting, Estrada's out right now, so you got to hold fort there. But the fact that they figured out some things with the bullpen, with Manaya being down there, Beck's doing well. This kid Walker seems to be doing okay. They know Duvall's your closer. The Rogers brothers are both pitching well now. So these guys are starting to, play to the back more of their baseball card.
And you know what I'm liking right now too, compared to the years previous, is we're actually seeing a steady lineup every day rather than this damn hodgepodge of, just throwing a roster together every different day. Every day is a different roster. And remember last year, the constant movement of people coming in and out, it seems to be a little bit more steady. And maybe I think that's playing some dividends, to be honest with you.
Yeah. If you look at that, the fact that Schmidt was out today because of the ankle, but the playing guys on a regular basis, if Estrada wasn't hurt, he'd be out there. Schmidt's out there. I like the idea that Conforto and Haniger are playing every day. Looks like Yaz is, out there as the everyday center fielder. Yaz is quietly, I mean, he's starting to come around. He was having a good year before he got hurt with the hammy. I'm going to look up his stats. I don't think he's too bad off. Isn't he in the 250 range? 260 range?
Who's that?
Yeah. Yaz, he's 265.
Yeah, 269, yeah.
So Yaz is at 265. He plays a good outfield. If he can do that and also still be able to hit some lefties, then you got some guys. So see, with Slater getting healthy and when Estrada gets healthy again, who are the two guys that are sent down, VR and Wisely likely? Yes, Ted, you're right. It'll be those two.
Yeah.
Barring any other injuries. So, and then when Jock comes back up, it'll probably be Bryce Johnson. I haven't heard word on when Jock's coming back. We talked about it a little bit yesterday that he's not able to grip a bat at this point.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. I've been trying to search the news on that. I haven't seen anything else new on that.
Yeah, so we'll see. I mean, it's a long, long season. They're 27-26. They played 53 games. That means they still have 109 left. It's still a long season, actually, when you got to 80 or 90 games left. So there's plenty of time.
I love this. This guy is like the mirror opposite of Robert, man. This guy is the exact mirror opposite.
Who said moral victory?
I don't know.
Yeah, get him and Robert together. Put them in the ring. Put them in the ring together and see. I mean, wouldn't that be something if it was Robert? He just had another name. He goes by Greg Dayton. Greg, man, you gotta be. If you're this upset after, what I called a Valiant comeback, the fact that they made it a game and won 3 out of 4, 5-2 on the trip. If you're that disappointed, I'd hate to be around you when things go really bad, like they lose 3 or 4 in a row. And they will lose 3 or 4 in a row at some point again this year.
It's baseball, yeah.
Mark it down. I guarantee the Giants will lose 3 in a row at some point the rest of the season. And you know what? They'll win 3 in a row again at some point. Ideally, the Giants, if they just played 6 of 10 baseball the rest of the year, even 555, 555. Let's see, they've got, what did I say? They got 103 games left, right?
Right, there you go. So that's what?
So
over
103.
Yeah, we're gonna show. Have you seen Sean in a while? Sean Proctor?
Haven't. No. I talked to him recently. He's doing okay. Okay. So 57 plus 27. Okay, they're going to need to play about 580 ball, maybe 570. Hold on. 103 times 57%, 58 plus 27. Hold on, 58 plus 27. No, they're going to have to play 103 times. They're going to have to play a minimum to probably make the playoffs about 590 ball the rest of the way. Okay? 590 ball will get the Giants to 87, 88 wins. Okay, that's so that means they're winning close to 6 of every 10 games the rest of the season. If they only played 555 ball with 103 games left, they would only win 57 more games, plus they're 27 now, they'd only win 84. They'd be 84 and 70. What would that make? 84 and 78. That's probably just would be fall just short of a wild card.
See, and that's if they go, what you said, if they go
555 will only get them to 84 wins.
Yeah, see, I mean, they got some work ahead of them.
So 590 ball is really where they need to be, because that's going to get them to 87 or 88 wins, because it's like 60.77 wins. So, figure 590 ball gets you to 88 wins. You'll make, I believe 88 wins is enough to get into the wild card.
I like what Senior's saying here. Just keep winning series, but I have low expectations for this year, but it's all about the next 10 years. Hey, softball,
yes.
I'm taking a gander at the San Jose Giants. I just kind of went through the pitchers, but there's a couple of them that are very intriguing. The guy Hayden Birdsong and Nomar Medina. Those guys look like they got some potential. Granted, it's low A. They're both fairly still young, which they still got some time to hone their craft before they get called up. But those two guys look like they got some potential there. A third guy, I can't pronounce his first name. It's a weird name, but his last name is Maldonado. He's another guy that looks like it could be pretty strong. He's only, I think, 19 years old. So the Giants, as far as pitching in San Jose, they got some guys down there that could probably make a contribution. And I'm thinking that they're probably going to get promoted to Eugene probably fairly quick.
All right, Greg, you're doing a Jekyll and Hyde on us now. I have to admit, I thought we'd be a lot worse. Then why are you so upset? I get it. I mean, he's probably a younger guy. My guess is Greg's maybe in his 30s or something. I don't know. I remember you get a little bit more level out your emotions as you get older with sports teams. You don't get so, I don't know. I know some older guys still that get pretty hot though.
Hey, Adam, I still think that this is a transition year. We're starting to see the young people starting to come up. So
yeah,
I would temper expectations if they exceed. Oh, that's awesome. Bravo. And let's celebrate that. But I'm just wanting to see the future, because we can't keep getting these Papirskis and Padlows and Stewie Fairchilds, and I'm tired of seeing that. I want to see the guys that we've developed in the farm come up and produce, and then supplement them with some good free agents. That's what I want to see.
Exactly right, Eric. You definitely want to see them, temper expectations, hope for the best,
right,
and kind of plan for a team that maybe falls a little short of the playoffs and maybe makes it an interesting season, but hovers wins between 79 and 84 wins, something like that.
There we go. This is exactly, I told you, he's exactly opposite of Robert Rothberg. Robert Rothberg's 72, but he's like all about the Giants,
okay. I'm very critical of this team. We got to get Greg and Robert together. Like I said, that's hilarious.
That's good. That would make sense.
That is hilarious. Robert's 72, and the Giants can do no wrong. They're going to win it all. Greg's pissed off because they lost the getaway game on a after winning 5 of the first 6 on the road trip. Greg wants more. That's all right. He's a passionate fan.
Very passionate.
And he is definitely Robert's opposite. Yeah. This is good. Where's Robert today?
Yeah, I know. I'm surprised.
Come on, is he over on Hum Baby's show?
He might be.
I don't know if Hum Baby's still going. Hum Baby's got a good show too.
Yeah, Hum Baby, he's got some great content. He really does.
Yeah. So yeah, there's not too many Giant content creators out there that are doing stuff on the Giants. So we're one of the few.
Pretty much you and Hum Baby. I mean, There's a garlic fries. I don't know what that. I think that has to do with. Isn't that one of the guys from 95.7? I'm not sure.
Might be. Garlic fries is Mark Willard, isn't it?
Is it? Is that who that is?
I think it is.
Oh,
Yeah.
maybe it isn't.
I think he does something. Joe Shasky, he's a big Giants guy. I mean, he's on 95.7 the game, but he's a passionate Giants fan. So yeah, we got some Giants guys out there doing stuff, but we'll see where this thing goes. I mean, I'll give you my opinions as we get closer to the trade deadline and see where this team's at, and see if there's deals that can be made. Yeah, Mario, my back's bugging me when I sit in this chair. So it looks like I'm standing up. So the mic, I'm getting a boom mic, so it's going to be a little closer,
nice.
So I don't have to
help
hold
with
it.
Your back.
Yeah, I need a new chair too. So this is just.
You ought to work with Baby.
I talked to Eric over there, and we're going to do some stuff eventually. I just have to get back to him and stuff. But yeah, Eric does a really good job. I can't read without my glasses. What's Peter Zimmer saying?
He's saying,
those Larry and Dan Ransom were the best. Oh yeah, we had some fun. We had some fun. Did you guys did you see me put a fork in the Giants last year?
Yeah, that was classic. I love that one. Yeah.
I was like Greg. I was ticked off.
Oh yeah, that was. It had a good sound effect to it too. It sounded like you stuck something pretty good.
I was just so frustrated just because it was the trade deadline. They didn't do anything. They kept Rodon, and it was like, dang it. I want to.
Was it Ryan that did the thumbnails? Because they showed the fork in the Giant. It was pretty good.
Yeah, we had some fun. We had some fun at the ballpark last year. We'll see. We'll see where this thing goes. I mean, as long as they're competitive and in the race. I mean, I know from being around, living life, I know that you're not going to win every year. I mean, it's impossible. I mean, the Dodgers have not won a legitimate World Series since 1988. Okay, right. Guys? They've cleaned up on the division the last 10 years, and all they have to show for it is a Cracker Jacks ring in 2020. They got a watered down. And what was funny is when the season started, I said, you watch, the Dodgers are going to win it all this year because it's not a real season. And there was no parade. There was no fans during the regular season. They had to play games in Texas and to get some fans there. And Dodger fans thought that was really, hey, come on. 162 game season is a grind.
Yes.
And that's why it's tough to win it all. You saw what the Dodgers did last year. They killed everybody regular season. What'd they win? 111 or something like that?
Yeah.
And then they choked to the Padres.
Exactly.
Yeah, so don't, it's tough to win a championship in sports. If your team is competing for championships on a regular basis, you're pretty fortunate as a fan. Okay. And you hope you win one or two along the way. I mean, people who think their team should win year after year, like the Warriors won 4 championships in 9 seasons. Over 40%. It's like what is that? Like 4 of 9. What is that? Like roughly 45%. Time, and before this season it was 50%. They were 4 of 8, and people were all ticked off this year that they didn't win. Well, if you could enjoy what they just went through, man, examine yourself. You got issues. Giants won 3 in 5, and frankly, we took from 17 through the last year's kind of like, well, yeah. But now we're starting to get a little irritated Giants fans, because it has been almost 10 years since the World Series last championship, and they've only made the playoffs in 16 and 21. Had 21, that magical year, not come along, that would be really frustrating to watch, because at least you would be going, well, we can handle it if we saw a real complete rebuild. But that's why we're passionate about seeing young guys come up, because what they're doing with free agents, you can do for a little while, but it's not sustainable unless you're willing to spend money like the Padres, and they're not. So, nor really should they. I don't think teams should spend $250, $60 million year in, year out and lose money. I mean, but I think teams should spend. I mean, the Giants finally spending money this year, but they're going to have to, develop and then plug in key free agents.
Yes.
Along the way. Yeah, you can't have.
It can't be all young. Yeah.
Yeah, it can't. It can be all young if it's stacked. If staggered. Guys are coming up every year that are I remember the old Dodgers of Steve Garvey, Davey Lopes, second base, shortstop Bill Russell, third base Ron Say, catcher was Joe Ferguson and Mike Scioscia. They had and Steve Yeager, Joe Ferguson, Steve Yeager back in the 70s. And then they had outfield of Dusty Baker, which was either a trade or free agent, because he came up with Atlanta and Hank Aaron. When Dusty was a rookie, Hank, was his mentor. Who else they had? They had Rick Monday, Reggie Smith. So those were guys that they made acquisitions, but their infield was all homegrown, just like the Giants. You look at the Giants 2014 team. It was Brandon Belt, Joe Panik, Brandon Crawford, Pablo, Buster Posey, pitching of Lincecum, Kane, Bumgardner. All those guys were homegrown. Mm-hmm. That's what the Giants have to do again. Right. They have to repeat that cycle, and they're hopefully starting it. The first one was Schmidt. Now it's Bailey. Maybe Bart comes back and figures it out. I don't know, but he's going to have to figure it out. He's going to have to hit. But if you have a Patrick Bailey and Joey Bart situation, you kind of have what the Dodgers had when they had Joe Ferguson and Steve Yeager, both homegrown guys that could catch, and they were both productive behind the plate. Then you've got to bring up the next batch. It becomes, your pitching. It becomes Kyle Harrison, and then it becomes Carson Wisenhunt, possibly Will Bednar, and then your infield guys start coming up. It's you got Schmidt. Now you bring up Luciano. Maybe Will Wilson comes up and makes it, or this kid Fitzgerald. Your outfield, it's Matos and Von Brown and Meckler and the kid. I'm always forgetting the kid's name. The speedster. He's like their third-rated prospect. Starts with an M.
Who is that?
McRae.
Oh, McRae.
Yeah. Some of these guys, you got to start seeing every year. You got to keep the pipeline going, and then a trade or two. Maybe all of a sudden, like the Dodgers were able to pull off Trey Turner and Max Scherzer at the trade deadline in 21. Maybe the Giants have enough guys, deep farm system, that they can do something like that. Whoever that year's stars are that are going to be on the trade block. Mm-hmm. So this is where you have to get, and I understand this is where Farhan's trying to get to. And if he gets there, give him all the credit. If he doesn't get there by the end of next year, that'll be 6 full seasons. To me, it's time to move on. You got to be able to develop a system in 6 years. We saw Houston do it, right? We saw Baltimore's doing it.
Baltimore.
Yeah, Toronto,
Yeah.
Tampa Bay. They're bringing up their guys. Okay, or Arizona. They're starting to bring up guys. So this is what the Giants need to do. They need to get better, get speed. Peter Zimmer, what's he got there? Read that one, Romo.
He said, I would like to make a run at Ohtani. He might not sign with the Giants. My guess he's a Dodger next season, but it's worth the effort to sign with us. Well, here's the deal. I think Ohtani has come out and said he wants to be on a winning team. I mean, that's kind of who else said that? Wasn't that? I think that was Aaron Judge said the same thing, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So right now the Giants are kind of in a well, they're not kind of. They're in a rebuild or transition, whatever you want to call it. So I don't know. Yeah, money's going to talk, but I think he wants to win a ring, no doubt about it. He just see yesterday he had another 10 strikeouts.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, he's gonna. Whew, yeah, it would be awesome to have him, but I don't know. Just like you said, I think he's probably going to be a Dodger. The Dodgers try to avoid being in their penalty to reset, and I think they're definitely going to make a run at him next year.
Well, let's take a look at the standings here and see what we got here.
Good point.
Okay, so this is the wild card standings right now. The Giants are tied. Let me see if I can blow that up for you guys a little bit bigger. Is that better?
Well, that's too much. There you go. That's better.
All right, so you can see the Giants are tied basically with the Pirates, Marlins, and Marlins and the Mets are just behind them. So big, huge series coming up starting tomorrow with the Pirates. Got to win the series again. I mean, it's early. Even if they don't win the series, it's so early. But you want to keep winning series. Win series, and you'll make the playoffs. Very simple. Just win as many series as you can. There's still plenty of series left to go. I haven't even looked at the schedule. I'm going to say there's probably 35 series, close to 35, between 33 and 35 series to go left in the season. Let me count them up while you cover some of the chat if you want there.
Right. Senior, he also said, talking about Ohtani, you'll probably go to the Yankees. That's you can't count out the Yankees, not at all. They don't care about their damn resetting their roster or their payroll. And Pete Zimmer also says, LA or New York, San Francisco. Yeah, San Francisco will be used for leverage like they're always. Man, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what the fallout's going to be if he does decide to go to the Dodgers. What kind of flack the Giants fans are going to give the front office. Especially after last year, it's going to be interesting to see how that works. Especially if there's like a
did I nail that or what?
If there's a competition between the Dodgers, Ohtani's meeting with the Giants today. Ohtani's meeting with the Dodgers, and if the Giants lose that one, man, it's going to be pandemonium.
That was a pretty good guess. There's 35 series left. I said 35. Wow. My first guess was about 35. That's because I handle people's finances. So, hey, you need some help there. Give me a call.
No offense, Ted, but who cares? I think I don't think that's going to matter.
I would say if you're got 35 series left, you probably want to win at least a minimum of 20 of those.
20 of the 35?
Yeah. Ooh. If you went 20, let's say, I don't know how many.
What is that percentage-wise?
Let's say you went like 20, 13, and tied 2. Like, let's say there was a couple 4-game series in there. Wonder what that would do for. It depends. You still want to get swept on any big series, but yeah. I mean, if you got 23-game series, that's and you won 2 of 3 in those 20. That's 40 wins right there, right?
Yeah. Okay, you're talking 570 ball right there. If you go 20 of 35.
It's hard to figure exactly because you don't know if you're going to get swept in some of those series or if you're going to sweep some of those series. I'm just saying as a whole, you want to make the playoffs, you got to win series.
Yes.
And the Giants have done that. They've won now. They've actually, if we look at the schedule here, they started with Philadelphia. They got, blitzed in Arizona, losing 3 of 4. And then they had lost 2 of 3 to Washington. But they have won 1, 2, 3, 4 series in a row now.
Good.
So keep that train going. I don't, sure would I like to see a 6-0 homestand, but I'm happy. I'll be happy with a 4-2 homestand.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
They win 2 of 3 against Pittsburgh and 2 of 3 against Baltimore.
Again, where are they now on series won and series lost? It's got to be close to about 50.
I would think it's got to be very close because they're let's go through that exercise. We'll start off the season. Okay. Yankees are 0-1. White Sox, they won that series. They're 1-1. Kansas City, they lost 1-2. You keep this record in your head too. Dodgers lost 1-3. Detroit lost 1-4. Mm-hmm. Miami lost 1-5. Mets, they split a 4-game series. So 1-5-1.
1-5-1.
St. Louis, they won 3 of 4. So they're 2-5-1. San Diego, they lost both games. They're 2-6-1. Houston, they won that series surprisingly. So they're 3-6-1. Milwaukee, they won 4-6-1. Washington, they lost 4-7-1. Arizona, they lost 4-8-1. And then they won 1, 2, 3, the last 4. So they're 8-8-1.
So they're 500.
And they are 27-26.
Yeah, so there you go.
So it's
going to be a tall order to try to get at 570 ball to just to go where you like as far as winning 20 of the 35.
Yeah. So is that what 20 of 35 is 570?
20 of 35 is 57%, so 570 ball.
What is 21 of 35? Is that about 590?
Yeah, it's probably going to be closer to that. Let me see.
%60.
Woo! Yeah.
So they need to go really close to winning 21 of 35.
That's
series.
Tough.
Thank you, babe.
Not impossible, but it's
water.
Tough.
Thank you, sweetie.
But as far as what Peter is saying, I think the Giants have kind of been after Sonny Gray for a while. Not after him, but interested. Over the last few years, I know there's always been talk about Sonny Gray maybe coming to San Francisco.
Hey, the catcher the Giants picked up, that Nottingham just singled in the bottom of the 8th. They just picked him up from somebody, right?
Seattle.
Seattle. He just singled, and it's now 3-2. Wait a minute. What are we doing here? Thought it was
yeah, I think Hannah really up his number.
3-3, yeah. 3-3.
For sure, Ted. Just like usually there's some kind of price involved, like a Rolex or something like that. Kind of what remember Beltran, he gave Bochy didn't he give Bochy a Rolex to get number 15? Something like that?
Oh, I don't remember.
Yeah, there was some kind of payment.
Yeah, so there you have it, really. Giants got 35 series left, and you want to win about 21 of those. And you don't want to get swept in series you lose, because then that could offset, some of the ones you win.
Exactly.
You don't want to lose of those. If you won 21 series, you you could still finish under 500 hypothetically if you
if
got
you're getting
swept in
swept.
the other let's say 14. That would be 42 losses, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and you won 21, which is 42
Right.
wins if they were 2 out of 3. Yeah. So, but then if you lost one of those 21, you'd be 42 plus another 21. Yeah, I mean, that's not going to happen. You're not going to get swept by, 13, 14 series. But generally speaking,
right.
It kind of, it's not,
it's not perfect, but it's
not perfect, but it kind of plays out. We just did it. They're 8-1 and they're one game over 500.
Exactly. We talked about this too. Yeah. This happened to them last year, except it happened to them last year in like April and May, where remember last year, the bullpen just got totally decimated because the starting pitchers, well, first he wasn't leaving them out there long enough, talking about Kapler, or they were just bringing in the bullpen too early. So that can't happen this year. Hopefully they got enough guys that can go, bulk innings that kind of offset that a little bit. And maybe that's why they did what they did. But
yeah.
So anyway,
I think I'm going to.
Saul Harrison went 3 2/3. We've got that on the banner there. Had 5 strikeouts, 3 walks, threw 74 pitches. We were talking about it earlier how, we kind of, when you're throwing almost 75 pitches, you want to at least be into the 5th inning. So I think he's still got some work to do in AAA as far as his command.
Yeah. Hey, I think I'm going to end this here right at 3:30. So any final thoughts? We got 2 more minutes. We're going to end this. I'm going to get out and do maybe go to Costco. Sure. I want to get a watermelon. It's like, it's Memorial Day, right?
Yeah.
You got to have watermelon.
Remember, you got to get the scarred up ones.
Exactly. I picked one out last time. One with a yellow. Did we go over this or something?
Yeah,
we talked about
the Kruger show,
yeah, the Kruger show. I did another one last week. I picked one up and I dug around at the bottom of the box and I found one. I says, "Here, it's got some scars and had a nice yellow spot on part of it." I said, "There you go." And it was an awesome watermelon, crisp. See? No sogginess and flavorful. It usually works out for me. Tip of the day. You want a good watermelon, make sure it has those scars on it. The ones that you got a groove, not just flat. They got to have a groove.
It's got to have
I think that means, doesn't that mean some of the bugs have been trying to, I don't know. Somebody told me.
I just know it's got to have some scars.
Yeah. Hey, what do we... What do the A's have to play to get to 40 wins?
My wife's getting after me because I don't eat watermelon. She goes, "How do you know about all that stuff about watermelon?" But the chat earlier we're talking about when are we going to see some more completes?
Oh man, I think I retired from that, man. I don't have any more of those. That was my role on Larry's show, was to be my role was to lighten it up, mix it up, have some fun, be the punching bag. If you notice, when I still go on the show, I'm still a punching bag.
But it's all in jest.
Yeah, it's all in jest. I have fun with it. No big deal. I thought that was one of the best shows going last year.
Fantastic. Last year,
the 3 of us, I thought we had good chemistry. We had a lot of fun. I thought that could have been could have made for some a national show, maybe even just.
It could have. Yeah, you guys had something good going on with the Giants last year, just the way they were playing. And it was just good. Yeah,
Larry's could be hilarious. It's
that complete
stick to the lumpia. That's right. Stick to the lumpia.
Hey, you can get one thing about the completes. It'll keep you regular.
Wow. I'll tell you, I'm going to go bald here, man. I just gave myself a haircut yesterday. Yeah. It's hot today. And I got it in here at 77, but
it's beautiful here in Northern California, man. It's only 73 out right now. It's supposed to be like this for a while.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, I mean, it's 70s. I love that. That's perfect weather. Yeah, last year was
Larry ranting even when the Giants won.
Oh, when he went on some of his rants, that was great.
Oh, man.
Yeah, those were classic rants. And then me screwing around out there in the outfield with the bleachers and
oh my gosh,
just having fun with people and stuff. But
Hey, the trade deadline stuff, that was really good too last year.
What was that?
When you went down to San Diego?
Oh, yeah. Exactly, Mark. Watermelon needs to be sweet. Otherwise, you're eating water. You nailed it. Yeah. If it isn't sweet, it's going back.
Yep.
Yeah. I've had a watermelon that's just no taste, and it's just like, yuck. So, watermelon. Yeah, Larry, he's hitting 200. About Yaz and Wade last year.
Man, have you noticed Wade's kind of been in a funk the last few games, huh?
A little bit, yeah. But he got a hit yesterday. He didn't get a hit today, did he?
He got one hit, but
today?
He's not drawing. Yeah, he got one hit, but he's not drawing many walks the last couple of games. So it's
okay. Watch him tomorrow. Well, he may not be in the lineup tomorrow.
Yeah, with Rich Hill, he's got that big old curve, man.
But he's Wade's got a hit yesterday and today, so he won't shave. You saw that on the interview.
Yeah.
So as long as he gets a hit, he won't shave. Mario wants me to put my hat back on. What's the glare too bright, shining off the moon?
That was one of my concerns with Wade too. Is he being too passive at the plate and hoping just to draw that walk instead of trying to get a hit? But I mean, his OPS is pretty good, so I mean, he's doing some damage. But
yeah. But
you could get in that rut to where it's like, maybe I'm not feeling good. Maybe I should just draw a walk instead of swinging about.
Exactly. This hat, I like the hat, but I don't like the fit as much as my 3930s. Let me grab a 3930 here.
All right. What do we got here? Pretty much.
All right. I got 2 new hats coming. Just ordered them. Actually, a third hat too. So, yeah, those will be. I should have those sometime next week. Has blown the game for the.
Is that the same one that blew out his elbow?
Huh?
Or not? I didn't blow out his elbow.
See what's going on here.
Isn't this the guy that was
Sacramento game?
Wasn't he the hard thrower?
MILB network. Might help if I put my ears back in here so I could hear.
Hey, okay. Dan, wasn't Guzman the guy that's also a first baseman?
Yeah. It's good to see he's back pitching again, but it's what's the
bases
score?
Loaded, no outs. Yikes! That's what Ted's saying.
Let's see. Yeah, 1-2 count.
Oh boy, here we go. Let's see what happens. Let's see if he can get himself out of it. Is that the same Guzman?
I think so. Big guy. Ground ball base hit.
Oh, there it is. That's going to score 2. Yeah.
Oh, well. Minor leagues. All right, guys. We should be back tomorrow about 5 o'clock for a quick show after the Giants Pirates game. Maybe about 4:30. Hopefully we come on about 4:30. Game gets over.
Oh, just before the basketball?
Yeah, I'm 5:30. I'm going to watch Game 7. Yeah, Game 7. Yeah, and I'm going to pull for Miami. I do not like Boston. Mark says residency has 30% off right now. Cool. Yeah, I just bought a Ring. If you want an alarm system for your home, Ring has 30% off right now too. I just bought that. Saved $100 on the system.
Nice.
But yeah. Well, hey, whoa, Matos. That was weird. It was a deep fly to him in center, and he had to reach over his head. It almost didn't catch it in front of him for a routine fly. I wonder if the wind took it or what.
Well, it's kind of cloudy here, so maybe it's going in and out of the cloud. Maybe the sun came out right at the wrong time or something.
They got second and third now. They just hit a sack fly. Yeah. So anyway, join us tomorrow. Everybody hit that like button in the chat. Would really appreciate that. Tell your friends about us. We'll be, covering Giants all year long. Hopefully they stay in it all year long to make it much more interesting. Ground ball, base hit left field. The 2 more runs are going to score. And now it is 7-3. Gee whiz.
Open now,
yeah. That's a stinking Dodgers. Man, now you got to pluck them.
Yep.
It's the Dodgers.
Yep.
Send a message. Keep that rivalry going. All right. Hey, thanks to Eric for joining. And anything else you got? A final thoughts before we depart, Eric?
Well, let's start on another winning streak here. Maybe pull out these next couple of series. I know it's going to be tough. Pittsburgh's been playing good. Baltimore's been playing good. That Baltimore series is going to be a lot of fun just because the young guy. Well, same thing with Pittsburgh too. So let's see what happens. Maybe we'll see Bednar's brother, because I know he's their closer, right, for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, hopefully we don't see him.
Yeah.
Hopefully we don't see him. We don't want to see Bednar. No.
The wrong Bednar.
So, all right, everybody. Well, what do we got? Any final comments we might want to add? Residency. Go get your hats at Residency. 30% off. Darren Ty says he's going to buy some minor league hats. Maybe Eugene or Augusta. There we go. Is Augusta the
I think that is.
in Georgia? Is that their low rookie league or what? Because I know they have a.
Didn't that used to be their AA? I can't remember.
No, they're AA. Let's see. I believe it was. They used to be. It's funny because Giants, when I was growing up, single A, I don't even remember where it was. They had Shreveport, Louisiana was AA. Phoenix was AAA. I'm trying to remember where single A was. But now I think they're strategically keeping them closer. It makes so much more sense.
Well,
because
except for Richmond, that's what
yeah. But if you want to send a guy down for a rehab assignment, for pitching, you don't have to send him across the country. You can send him to SAC or San Jose, just to get in stuff or whatever. But Richmond is AA, Darren. What they have is they have San Jose, which is low A. Eugene is high A, which and low A, I think there used to just be 1A ball. And then there was rookie league or something.
Yeah, rookie league.
So now they have their low A San Jose, high A Eugene, AA Richmond, AAA SAC. And
Arizona is the rookie league. Right?
Yeah, they have the rookie league. And then last year was 4A was in San Francisco.
That's pretty good. Yeah, last year for sure.
Yeah. We haven't seen too much 4A, and hopefully we won't. That will make the team so much more competitive. Last year was a run of 4A guys. I mean, seriously, it was a 4A, station. You run through Sacramento, you play 4A ball for a couple weeks, and then we shuffle you on out and find somebody else for 4A.
Yeah.
So, anyway. Okay. I actually saw Buster play in San Jose. That was cool. Hey, did you guys see the thumbnail I put out today?
I didn't even see it.
Let me pull it up here. Let me see if I can pull it up.
Darren's getting on you. He says, "How dare you insult such a talented roster?" Talking about last year's Giants roster.
Yeah, I think he's tongue in cheek, right? There's the thumbnail.
Oh wow! Look at that! Look how young they look. Golly.
You guys know who that is?
Yeah, Mad Bum and Buster. Yeah,
Exactly. I found that in my pictures. I thought, I'll just throw that up there. I was looking for Buster, my dog, in the Giants hat, but I
Mad
didn't
Bum
find
looks
it.
thrilled in that picture.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. Yeah, it's pretty funny. So anyway, hey, you guys have a great rest of your Sunday. Have a happy Memorial Day. Stay safe out there.
Yep.
Be careful on the roads, everything.
Stay
And
hydrated.
yeah, stay hydrated. Yeah, I got one down and another one to go. So we will see you tomorrow afternoon after the Giants Pirates game, probably between 4:30 and 5. It'll be a short show because at 5:30, going to go watch Boston, Miami. Until then, you guys have a great day. We'll see ya. Hey, one last thought before we close it. I missed that last comment. Thanks some veterans if you see them. Thanks to the veterans. Thanks to Eric, who's a vet, right?
Appreciate it. Yeah, I am.
Thanks to all the veterans who served us and are serving us. God bless you all. We'll see you guys tomorrow.